anything worth doing is worth overdoing. Moderation is for cowards. And I just like the idea that if you're going to do something, do it right. Do it to your full potential. Don't half do it.
I love the principle. I love the principle of pushing above and beyond, realizing that other variables out there, none of that matters. What matters is that you work harder and you put in work.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Fit, Healthy, and most of all, Happy podcast. I'm your host and coach, Josh, here with
His co-host and co-coach KG, and I'm outside and not in the house.
This is a special edition episode. We're going to do a rapid fire mega Motivation Monday. Everyone loves the Motivation Monday format, so we're going to do a dozen plus questions. We're going to rapid fire through them. I'm sure some of them will get some excited, just dramatic, fun, engaged discussion, but I'm sure some of them as well just be like, oh, that's a fun fact. I didn't know that about Coach Josh or Coach Kyle. And yeah, we haven't filmed very much outside. Obviously, there's more variables. There's birds, there's dogs, there's neighbors. There's a lot of different moving pieces. So I think we've only ever done 2 episodes outside. I could be wrong. I'd be curious if anyone else knew off the top of their head, because I know some people go from the start and listen all the way through, which I think is so cool. But nonetheless, like, I'm just pumped to jump into this, to have a good time, to be a little more laid back. It's pretty much like just at the twilight time of night. So hopefully the lighting's cool. We got lots of greenery behind us. Kyle's all worried because he blends in with the shrubs. But we're going to have a really fun, killer episode here. And don't worry if you're like, I still want the quotes, guys. I still want the quotes. So don't worry. This is a special edition episode. And the first question is relevant to that. So question for you both. What is your all-time favorite quote? And before we jump into that, I also do want to say we got these questions we did a poll on Instagram. Kyle did over email asking for questions. And I can't remember. I think just other ones we've gathered up over time. So we've got a huge storage bank of questions, a lot of fun ones. So the first one is question for you both. What is your all-time favorite quote?
So my favorite quote of all time is you can have results or excuses, not both. I'm sure a lot of people are expecting that, but I just love how real that is. And it just says so much. So that is my all-time favorite quote. And my newer second favorite quote, I'm going to give a bonus here, is nobody cares, work harder. And on the back of this shirt, I had to wear it. It actually says work harder on it. And my background also says nobody cares, work harder, just because I love the principle. I love the principle of pushing above and beyond, realizing that other variables out there, none of that matters. What matters is that you work harder and you put in work. And that's going to be my 2 top favorite quotes.
It's funny because I have a hard time saying what my actual favorite quote is, but I know Kyle's off the top of my head. He was so known for that. Like, he'd run around saying that to everyone. I think he even like drove his mother nuts by saying it to her all the time back in the day. But it's amazing because that quote, like, so simple, so elegant, it stands so true because you can have results or excuses. And I think the second you start entertaining excuses, that's often what you end up having. You start thinking all the reasons you can't do something as opposed to why you can. So that's a killer quote, and it's a good choice for a reason. For me, like, the one that's always stuck in my head is anything worth doing is worth overdoing. Moderation is for cowards. I think that's like my Facebook bio or something. And I just like the idea that if you're going to do something, do it right. Do it to your full potential. Don't half do it. And a lot of this coaching program, and even one of my clients, he mentioned, he's like, you always have an analogy about it. And I think it was like, when you're half in, half out of a pool, you're like kind of wet, kind of dry, kind of cold, kind of not. It's a horrible place to be. And I believe, like, if you want something, if you want to be fitter, if you want to be healthier, if you want to be happier, like, go all in on it. Don't be halfway. Don't be a coward and be like too scared to achieve your goals. And I love seeing people come into our coaching program because they'll feel like they don't deserve to be fit, or they only deserve a little bit of results, or they'll be even timid to tell me their all-time goal. They'll be like, I know it's so far off. And I'm like, hey, we're going to get there. And then we get there and they forge this new identity. And they're like, oh, I just wish I went all in on this earlier, because you're not going to achieve amazing goals without self-belief. And I think this quote encompasses that. And that's why I think it's one that's always been near and dear to my heart.
Yeah, and I know another one of his favorites is how you do anything is how you do everything. It's something that Josh lives by. It's something that we live by. So quotes are amazing. Plaster them everywhere. Use them as motivation. And hopefully you resonate with one of those quotes in one way or another.
Yeah, so many killer quotes, and that's why we made that a recurring segment of Motivation Monday. And I guess another fun behind the scenes is it used to be Mailbox Monday, because we'd have questions in the mailbox. And like, the quotes is one of our favorite segments because for whatever reason, quotes have always been a big part of what we do. Kyle starting with Twitter as well. It's always been a big one for him. And I just feel like you can impart so much wisdom in like 1, 2, 3 sentences. And it's something you can always keep with you, even in those weak moments. Because like, the how you do anything is how you do everything. Like, there's just so many opportunities. You want to be lazy with something, I think of that. I'm like, okay, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it right. And I even heard like just a motivational speech, and this guy, I forget which athlete it was, but he said if he was on a treadmill and he planned to do 10 minutes and 9 minutes passed and he broke his ankle, he would still crawl and drag his ankle for the last minute, even if no one was around, because he refuses in his mind to like let the devils in the sense of stopping short, stopping early. It was a fighter, I remember, because he said one day in like that fifth round, in that dire moment, he's going to end up quitting early because of some convenient excuse or something that happened. So I think even strategically, you can train yourself that when you're going to do something, do it right, do it all the way. Show yourself that when the challenge comes at you, you can get through it, you can blast through it. So I could pop off on this forever, and that's why we love quotes so much. But we'll jump into our next question of the Mega Motivation Monday. 5,000 transformations is very impressive. I'm curious, have you ever worked with a celebrity of any kind? This is a really fun question. And yes, we actually have. I myself have had a client who's like a really, really major super celebrity, which was really awesome. It was cool to work with them and for them to navigate like even how busy and crazy their life is. We don't want to name drop or anything or give away anyone's anonymity, but we've also worked with celebrity chefs. We work with a lot of actors and actresses, a lot of athletes as well, especially like I guess miniature celebrities, right? Like people that used to actually play in professional leagues and like NCAA athletes. And we've had such an amazing scope of people. And we work with CEOs, professionals, everyday Joes, like moms of an amazing amount of kids. Like everyone to us who comes into our coaching program is truly a celebrity. We're definitely fortunate. And what's cool is like a lot of the big names we work with have been referrals from people we've had come in that have found us, however, just like you may have from a podcast or a forum video. And they said, hey, these guys are awesome and referred us out. And like I said, like my attitude with everyone is just like treat them like a celebrity, give them the best white glove service. Like my whole thing is I want to give everyone who works with me 10 times the value for every dollar they give me, because you work hard for your dollars, you're trusting in someone with your results. And we always say too, like our results are a formula, not a fluke. There's a reason we're able to replicate it for ex athletes, celebrities, actors, chefs, like anyone in any situation. That's because we build our program to actually work with your life, not to be on top of it or not to be a short term mechanism. And I think because of that, we've had such a cool arsenal of incredible people we've worked with. But yeah, what would you say there?
Yeah, a lot of athletes in the sense where like some of them were like D1 athletes, which is cool. Like I specifically think of a lot of people who had such like great stuff that they did in school, and then it was really hard for them afterwards after they started to do other things. So it's cool to be able to adapt to people who are at higher levels, especially for sports, right? Because we grew up playing sports, so we can fully like understand how challenging that can be to kind of go from being like this crazy athlete to then having to make that switch into going into a job and doing other things and whatnot. So that's what's so cool as well. And even you'll see in this next upcoming Thursday episode, we're talking about how to navigate being a busy person. So some of Josh's celebrity clients that I think of specifically, I just think of them being on the road. I think of them having to navigate a busy life, all the publicity, like everything that took place. And what's so cool is like seeing the results that came all from that, just because they had something created for them, right? Instead of just having a one size fits all program. So yeah, it's really cool working with these awesome people. They're obviously a little bit more kind of behind the scenes and whatnot, but yeah, we're very grateful for the opportunity to work with some really cool people.
Yeah, and we only share the transformations of clients that are willing for us to share everything. So we have like some amazing transformations, some big names, but we always want to respect that as well. And we really love showcasing people that are comfortable with their results. Because when you see someone who's in like your same situation, but they're succeeding, like, oh heck yeah, like I can relate to this person. Like even for me, when I'm working with men that are like 200 pounds, I'm like, okay, I get that. Like this is the life I live, right? Kyle, if someone's an ex runner, he's like, oh, I was an ex runner. Like instantly you have that rapport. But what's so awesome is after 5,000 transformations, I feel like I have rapport of every situation ever, which is absolutely awesome. The next one's a fun one, and it's a simple one, and that is funny question, a simple question, but what is your coffee order?
Very simple. I just get a regular coffee with 1 milk, sometimes 2 milk if it's a bigger coffee, nice and simple. It's funny because I learned to drink coffee from Josh like 10 plus years ago. I never drank coffee, and he was just like, "Dude, you gotta try this." And I started with milk, and I've always done it ever since. I never had sugar, I never had cream, and I just like it that way. And especially in the States, people look at me like I'm a freak when I say, "Hey, could I get a bit of milk?" And they're like, "What?" they're just they're like, "What is that?" I'm like, "I don't drink cream, I'm sorry," but,
He's ordered coffee at McDonald's, and they gave him a black coffee with a milk, and you might not even be getting this, but in Canada, like, it's very, very common just to get milk in your coffee, like, it's a normal thing. I know in the States, it's more creamer or cream, so sometimes when he says milk, they just look at him like he's straight out of an insane asylum, and it just really depends where you are, but it kills me every time because, like, without fail, especially road tripping, like, in more of a small town, people just look at him like he's an absolute freak. But for the milk, when I started drinking coffee, I think I may have started with sugar or something. I can't remember. And I'm like, this is so dumb. Like for the rest of my life, whenever I drink a coffee, I'm gonna have sugar. Like it's gonna add up to so many calories. I'm just gonna be adding so much processed sugar just for like no reason when I could just enjoy coffee. So I went to just like a splash of milk, and that's how I felt the best. And then with him, I'm like, bro, you got to get on coffee. Coffee's the best, this, that, the other. And he didn't like it at first, like everyone else. Then you end up loving coffee, and now you can't deal without it. But I'm like, honestly, a good order for coffee is milk, like, because it's hard to go right into black. Like, I feel like you're elite if you can just have a black coffee. But for me too, that's what I always did. Lately, I've been doing cream because just straight milk, like the lactose, I find bugs me a bit more. Cream has a little bit less lactose in it, so that makes me feel a little more comfortable. Unfortunately, it comes at the extent of the extra calories. So at home, for me, I'll just do a coffee with a splash of milk. That's where I feel the best, and that's what I most often have. When I'm out, usually I'll do like one cream and enjoy that. Unfortunately, it is at the cost of the calories. I don't really get too exotic with my coffees anymore. Like I used to like the different fun creamers and different things like that, or more unique orders. But like I don't know, it's kind of lost its luster for me. I really just love a good coffee. We like going to different coffee shops and obviously working out of coffee shops. Like we've had people mistaken that before. They'll be like, "Where do you work?" And I'm like, "Oh, usually I'll just work in a coffee shop." And they're like, "Oh, which coffee shop do you work at?" I'm like, "No, no, I don't work at a coffee shop. We work out of a coffee shop." And that's how me and Kyle have basically done most of our work together. Is we'll go to a coffee shop, enjoy the energy, the free Wi-Fi, get a couple coffees. But I've also been making a lot more coffee at home lately, which I've enjoyed. And it's crazy the price of coffee's been really shooting up as of late, which is kind of a random sidebar. But next question we have is what is your favorite gym exercise?
Tricep pushdowns with a rope or overhead cable tricep rope extensions. I just love the feeling of the triceps being blown up. For those of you who don't know, the tricep makes up 2/3 of your arm. So although I love training biceps, there's nothing greater than a good bicep pump. Something I've just been loving about hitting the triceps. So those are two of my favorite exercises.
For me, I'll say 2 is I'll do 3. I think now that I'm getting older, well, not older, but I'm 30, I think actually it's funny, I've gone full circle and I'd say bench press. I just love bench press lately. There's just something fun and broy about getting on a bench, throwing on some weight, and it's always a good time. So I do enjoy that one. I feel like great contraction, my chest, my triceps, my shoulders. I feel like it gets me fired. It's not too difficult. So that's a big one. I'd say squats are one of my favorite in the sense that I hate them. They're so hard. I feel like I need to be so locked in and dialed, but like the challenge of that and knowing that bar can crush me, like that always does fire me up. And then I'll give a third one as well, like just a fun hypertrophy based movement. I've really been loving lateral raise machine. It's chill to me. You push in your chest. I get a really great contraction on my shoulder. And I'll actually one up that. I like the standing variant now that a lot of gyms have. I can't remember if it's Nautilus or Atlantic. It's one of those companies, but you stand with the straight arms, and those of you on video can see alongside the beautiful trees behind us at our Airbnb. But you just like kind of grab the 2 bars, you can raise like that. And I also do some front raises there. And that was a big tool for me for my shoulder rehab. So I really enjoy that one. Next up, we'll do the opposite, which is what is your least favorite gym exercise?
So I'm gonna say barbell squat as well as Bulgarian split squat, just in the sense where I hate to do them, but I also love the feeling afterwards. So it's not a true and there's nothing in the gym I truly dislike. I guess it's kind of a weird answer, but it's the most I have to get locked in. I have to get really focused. I can't really just go in and just not be ready for it. So it's like kind of challenging mentally, and I have to prepare for it. Especially because I try not to do half do things. Like if I want to just go in and barbell squat and put on a plate, like I'll do that any day. But when I do it, I try to do it to the best of my ability. I try to increase my weights. I try to challenge myself. I try to just really, really push myself. So I do it intensely for the most part. So I would say two of my least favorite, but the feeling is great afterwards, but I still make sure to get them done.
I would say for me, I've had different answers for this because I used to say like, oh, I hate Bulgarians, but I've really been liking them, and I've really been liking training my legs super hard. I'd probably say like overhead tricep dumbbell extension just feels wonky, and I really feel like there's better solutions out there. It's funny, like overhead cable tricep for us just does so well in terms of views. Like our YouTube video has 1 million or 2 million views, I can't remember, but that video went crazy. It always does well when we post a reel. We actually just posted a reel on how we prefer to do them, the variant we enjoy. We posted 2 reels. One that was a little more silly where people, like, put their butt cheeks, to the machine and do it for stability instead of just using their foot, and then we did another one because I like to do it on the top of the cable stack, and I feel like that's where it's most comfortable, and you dip your chest low, and those are killer to me. Those, like, really rip up my triceps. Oh, another exercise I love lately that I think is really underrated is single arm cable kickback. That one just tears up my triceps like nothing else. I don't know why, but I love that movement. So I love that kind of as an opposite to an overhead dumbbell tricep extension. I just feel like it's so awkward. It's never felt right to me. It's not something I've done a ton. So I'll go a little bit different with that answer. All right, this is a fun question. This is a gut punch question, but I think it's a good one. Where are you screwing up the most right now? Hard question to ask, but like you guys said, no one is perfect. So I'm curious your answer and what you're doing about it. And yeah, I think me and Kyle are the first to say we're not perfect. We like to share the different areas we struggle or looking to improve. And I think what's nice about us is we always look when there's like something that isn't perfect or an area we feel we could do better. We like to analyze, hey, what self reflection can I have? I don't want to steal Kyle's, but even I said, I'm like, hey, we have a question coming up that's relevant to him. And I'm like, you haven't had many. Okay, I don't want to spoil it. Well, it's what's your favorite 0 calorie drink? Okay, it's not that exciting. But I said, wow, like in Florida, you haven't had that many. And at his house, he's got like 18 fridges, I swear, of different drinks. Not actually, maybe 3 or 4 fridges. I don't know. But I'm like, you actually haven't been having that many 0 calorie drinks. He's like, well, I've been trying to work on that this trip. I was so bored at home, so I'm having less here. So like just examples like that. I think people get so nervous to say like, oh, I have imperfections. I'm not perfect, or this area I'm not good at, and they'll get really scared and they don't want to talk about it. When you kind of just like, this is something I need to work on. I'm going to work on it. Like even we'll talk about caffeine later. You just work on it and improve. But for me, I think on a deeper level, my problem right now is when I want something done, I want it done right away. I think, and sometimes I can do that when things are in my control. But when things are outside of my control, I think sometimes I'll have more stress when I want something done right away that isn't. That's something I need to be patient towards. So I would say patience is the area I feel like I can improve the most, and just really focusing on what's in my control and ignoring what's not in my control. So kind of a vague, open-ended answer, but I thought about this one a bit, and I think for me right now, that is probably the biggest area where I think I could do a lot better.
Yeah, and for me, I'm gonna have to say it's probably scheduling. So I still get everything done, but I'm just still navigating the best timing for everything. So like if you asked me 2 years ago, I would have like the most rigid morning routine between like meditating right away, journaling right away, walking right away. And I've been finding lately my brain just never stops. And especially before my baby wakes up, I've been loving just jumping on the laptop first thing and just doing like an hour before she gets up. And that's been so incredible. And then sometimes I'll go for a walk. And then so it always changes. And I'm a very routine oriented person. So then coming here to Florida, my routines changed a little bit and things just have been different. So I've been navigating different situations. And even for me, I've been really starting to like 7 p.m. working. So like as soon as it's bedtime, hopping on the laptop, doing a little bit of work and still just navigating like a specific routine. Like, and I'd like to get to a point where I'm like, you know what, this is exactly when I do it. And then just like when I'm not doing work, then I can just be fully present and just not be sitting on the laptop doing stuff. So just trying to navigate that for maximum productivity and presentness. And it's something I'm going to be working on for the next little bit.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people will say, "Oh, must be nice with your routines, like you guys are 20 and you have no kids and whatever," right? Like back in the day. And like now I can kind of relate to that. Like there's a lot of reels like talking about we all have the same 24 hours in the day, says the 20-year-old fitness influencer that does nothing but works out. And like I see both sides of that because we really do. Everyone has 24 hours in the day. No matter who you are, it's how you use them. And then there's also at the same time, like your time gets very like I was gonna say impeded. I don't know. Well, what it gets stepped over, I guess you could say, like even with having kids, if your job is especially busy, if something crazy happens. So I can relate to that too because it's harder to have a structure. But I think you always want to look for one. It is funny, even in the previous 40 years, it was more structured, like get up, go on a walk, work the whole time, this, that. Like kids are just such a big variable, right? And life changes, and I think you just need to change with it. And even for me, like there's different situations. Like my wife's back at work, and I wake up in the morning at like 4:30 with my kids. Like I can't just work normally like I'd like to. Like I'm making them food and playing with them and helping them with like going to the bathroom and random stuff like that. But I'm like, hey, like when they're sitting down eating, I started to find like, okay, I could do my journaling then and watch them from the side at the table. I could hop on my computer in between. I can do some more of my messages earlier. I can do more of my brainstorming. So I think no matter what your situation, you just need to like try to find that schedule, like Kyle said, and then eventually you find what works. And I used to hate working at night too. There's time I worked a lot at night and didn't like it. Now, like that's my golden time. Like one of my babies is a bed. I can usually like spend a lot more time doing that. So I think like most things, that is a good point. Like scheduling, you can always create a better routine, even if it seems impossible. And I think similar to that quote, right? Like you need to have just that belief that you can do that, that you can find a way to do it well, and you just got to work towards it. It won't always be perfect, but eventually it'll come together. And now we'll jump into the next one, which surprise, surprise is what is your favorite 0 calorie drink, Kyle?
Honestly, I love the fun ones, like, there's always these special edition ones. There was this vanilla holiday cream, diet I think it was like a Coke Zero, Diet Coke that was just 0 it was amazing, and I just remember we bought 1 pack, and then, looking on Facebook Marketplace afterwards, and everyone was selling them because they bought them, it was like a special edition one. That was fantastic, it kinda tasted like vanilla Coke, and honestly, there's a lot of different ones, there's, like, that cranberry ginger ale, like 0 calorie one I like. I like the 7 Ups, like, I like all of those ones, and it's hilarious because by accident, I bought a case of, like, high calorie drinks, and I ended up, like, slowly starting to drink one. It was like this was about a month ago, and I was like, "Man, this tastes disgusting." I'm like, What did they do to this?" And then I realized that it was a high calorie one. I'm like, "Man, this I just can't I don't enjoy this." So, I do enjoy, the 0 calorie drinks. I find it's something to have. Usually in the afternoon, I'll have one of those and then just like a protein snack. But honestly, usually it's just for me just needing something. And so once again, I'm trying to break that habit in the sense where I don't actually want to need something. And I don't believe there's any true downsides when you think about it. It can fill you up. It can give you that satisfaction of having something. But my biggest dislike, and as we're talking about like things that we want to improve on, is just having something have control of me, right? So if I feel like I need to get something at the store, like aside from the things that are really good for you, like chicken and Greek yogurt and all my essentials. I just don't like when something has control over me. So, yeah, that's kind of my little thought there. I like sparkling water as well. But once again, nothing will ever beat plain old water that I have right in front of me. And I think it's one of the greatest things is just to be able to enjoy that and not need anything else.
Yeah, I feel the same way. And what's funny is like I'm someone who I think a lot of people would say has a lot of self-control. But the reality is like when I have access to something, it's so easy to overdo it. Like I remember I bought like a huge thing of 0 calorie Gatorades from Costco. And I just ended up being like, oh, I'll have one in the sauna, I'll have one after my workout or whatever. And I just at one point I'm like, I'm having like 4 of these a day. Like why am I doing this? So I usually just try to avoid buying it. Myself, I've been having way less. I like Diet Coke. I like those Diet Cranberry special edition Christmas ones. Those are pretty good as well. It's just for me, generally, I find they don't make me feel the best. Like they kind of bloat me a bit. I feel like my energy, I don't know. I just don't feel the best on them. So I've kind of tried to avoid it and I've just enjoyed having more water. And that's kind of where I personally have felt the best. But also, one of my clients said, I used to drink a lot of Coke and it's hard for me to give that up. What are your thoughts on 0 calorie drinks or diet drinks? So a lot of people will be quick to say diet drinks are going to kill you. They're horrible. Aspartame, this, that. To the aspartame logic, like numerous studies have been done. For you to have the amount of aspartame that they deemed to be cancerous in rats, it would need to be like trucks and trucks and trucks load, like more than you could have in your lifetime. So from that standpoint, as far as science is concerned, you're covered. Outside of that, yeah, there's a bunch of crap in them, like a bunch of weird ingredients and dyes, but welcome to the real world. That's in everything. There's stuff in your water, there's stuff in your food, right? So I think you need to pick your battles. And to me, like if you're someone who used to have a lot of Coke, I think it's a net positive for you to switch to something like a Diet Coke because you're not like just cutting everything out cold turkey. But at the same time, you could create a new reliance. Like some people have like 8 Cokes a day. If you just end up having 8 Diet Cokes, like you're saving some calories, at least good for you, but you're just creating a new bad habit. Or when you diet, you just end up having like 10 diet drinks a day. Like it's just to Kyle's point, it's like, do you want someone to be over you, or would you rather just build the better habit and have the water? So I think with anything in life, you need to pick what's reasonable for you. If you love it and you having a diet drink saves you from overeating and having beer and having all these extra other things, like you got to kind of pick your poison. It's a very personal decision, of course, but that's kind of our stance there. And that's kind of a sidebar, but I think that was a great question. And then next up, this is a fun one. Why did you guys only do one physique show?
Honestly, I just didn't like it. I just found that the industry was a little bit interesting in the sense where, you pay thousands of dollars effectively between having the posing coach, the tanning, the show entrance, everything that was involved within it. I just didn't love the atmosphere. And so with that, it was just kind of like a little bit I can see why people like it, don't get me wrong, but I just feel like you're just getting consistently and you are getting judged, right? But it's just like you're getting judged to just stand up on stage and you just put in all this work and they'll just, say, "Hey, you should be lower body fat and your chest should be a bit bigger." Like, I just remember like there was one remark where it's just like, you got to bring up your upper chest. And I'm like, realistically, I don't care that much. And I just remember standing beside a guy who was very clearly on steroids. So I was about 155 pounds when I competed. He was probably closer to 200 and he was literally double my size and it was a natural show. And so I guess it's a little bit of kind of me not being the best at it, but at the same time, it was just like it wasn't the most fun. And then in reality, we ended up doing a lot of photo shoots afterwards, which was so much fun. We hired a photographer, we had fun with it, we got some shredded jacked photos. It was me versus me, and it was just an incredible time. So something like that to me was way worth it, and that's my personal experience.
Yeah, it was the same for me. I just everything about it I hated. I remember just like dieting down and being so miserable and like really just being excited to eat like my 12 almonds or something like that. Like it just sucked. Like I was so hungry. I was so miserably hungry. I remember at the end when I finally peaked, I could have like I ate a box of Reese cereal to kind of peak with the carbs. Like you do funky stuff with that. And I was just so happy. Like it just was not a great mental state to be in. It just got to the point where it's like hard to focus, and I just feel like getting that lean takes such a toll on your body. Past that, I also hated we had to pay so much money at the time, like it was just so expensive. And we paid one of the judges to help us with our posing. And he came over and he's like, all right, guys, do this, do this. He like, made one or two changes. Okay, practice that. And then he went and talked to girls and we paid him like $260 between the two of us and we were kids, like for the hour or whatever, and he was maybe there for 5 minutes. Well, this sucks. And then from there as well, like I remember the guy that won our show, me and Kyle did the same show. He was being coached by one of the judges, and he like looked so bad. It was like so random. And after that, I remember I had such like an epiphany. I'm like, okay, if I win this local show, no one cares, right? I think at the time it was fun to do it for like adoration. You want to be like that person, have that physique, right? But I'm also like, I'm being judged by all these random people. I'm working so hard just to be told that like I need to improve my upper chest and all these things. I'm like, I don't really care either. And I think that's what's hard is like people kill themselves, like dieting so low, destroying their hormones and like bulk, like just rebounding so hard after. Like, and it's like, kind of for what? If it's your passion and like that's your sport, do it. If you want to just do one show, I think everyone should try it at least once. But like a lot of the people I know that have been in the comp circuit just get so messed up. They do their show, they look amazing. They end up gaining a ton of weight. They never get back to that. They want to get back to that. They usually fall into like doing some steroids or something. They really get like this weird look. They're either hot and cold. Like to me, it's just like such a tough place to be. And I have a hard time. Like I'll coach people for shows. I've done it a lot and had great results. I'm down to help people with that. It's just like it's not my favorite world. And for our next question, it's about powerlifting meets. Like we've done that as well, and the community was so different. I remember that everyone's judging everyone, looking behind stage, like who's this person, where are they going to be, who are they with, what trunks they all this crazy stuff, right? Like, and I don't know, powerlifting, everyone's cheering for you, they're screaming at you to win. Person who's competing with you wants you to hit a big lift so they can hit a bigger lift. So I like that world. I thought it was a lot more fun, and I thought it was also more like it wasn't as I'm trying to find the right word. It wasn't as subjective is what I'm looking for. Like it's so hard to say if one person looks better than another, and that's kind of what I find insane to me. Whereas with powerlifting, it's like, did you lift more weight? Yes or no, in the correct standards that are there. And there's like way less subjectivity towards it. And to me, I personally enjoy that more. So, and that could also be that me and Kyle just weren't miraculously amazing at it. I understand that, but I've just doing this as long as I have, like, that is my thought. So the question of, like, how many powerlifting meets have you done and have you won any? We've done what, 4 or 5?
Yeah, we've done 4, and then we did a mock meet a couple months ago, which Josh ended up winning as well, so
Oh, yeah, that was like an official mock meet. We've done other mock meets. We used to do, like, deadlift parties in the basement of this one gym with a bunch of buddies, and we just go in there and try to lift heavy weights. Kyle had a really sick PR in, John Cena's gym. We were with another YouTuber, Scott Herman, Anabolic Aliens, and it was just, like, crazy hype energy in there. Like, Kyle ended up failing, I think, 450, which is like, he failed it, whatever, 450, and that night, from the energy alone, he ended up hitting 500, which is crazy. So not only to hit that lift, I think, or just shy of 500, but to actually shoot up like another 50 pounds was insane. And that's where powerlifting meets are so cool. Like there's so much energy. And even the mock meet, there was a girl there I remember, she did like a bar for most of all of her lifts, and she was definitely a newer lifter. But I thought it was so awesome. Like she got out there and she's basically saying, I am a lifter. She's showing she could do it. And that's the thing. Like even me, like there's people that are stronger than me, there's people that are not. Like anyone who's pushing themselves and like is doing a good lift, it fires me up. I'm cheering for them. I'm rooting for them. And yeah, it's awesome. I think every meet I've been in, I've won, which has been really nice. I guess that's an awesome thing. I think my highest total is probably high 1400s, low 1500s, somewhere in there, to be exact. So I think that was pretty cool. And it's been a lot of fun. Most of the meets we did were as juniors. We tried to do them as adults. It's never panned out. And some of the organizations also kind of stink. So like we have the benefit of having our media, so we can kind of do it in more fun ways. But yeah, how about you?
I think it's so cool, just the atmosphere, like, I'll never forget just, like, being against someone, like, literally competing, and they're just cheering for you, and then you're cheering for them, and it was such a different perspective because I believe we did physique one year, and then I think it was the next year we went into powerlifting, and I was not expecting it. I was like, "Alright, let's give it a shot," and for me to get my competitiveness out, like, into, like, something different, such as powerlifting, it was just such a cool experience, and I believe I won twice or so, it was nothing crazy. I know I came second a few different times, but it was honestly just so much fun, and what I will say, though, is, like, you don't exactly ever and I actually do recommend everyone try this, but to a certain extent, right? You could do a mock meet. You could do like even our local gym does these fun little mock meets, which like Josh was just talking about is just such a great time. But like testing your personal records on the compound lifts combined with doing some sort of photo shoot is one of the greatest accomplishments you can ever do on fitness. Now, obviously, a higher level would be a physique show, like we were talking about, and a real powerlifting meet. But to me, there's nothing better than challenging yourself in different ways and helping you stay consistent. Like every single time, if you know you're doing a mock powerlifting meet and you're showing up to the gym, it's just going to motivate you. So, highly encourage you to a certain point. Push yourself no matter what age as well. Some people think, oh, I'm 40 with 2 kids. It's like awesome. That'd be so cool to see how much you end up lifting. So, yeah, it's been a great time overall.
Next up is what is your favorite part about online coaching?
Honestly, just seeing true transformation. I love seeing someone who is struggling, who sends us a message saying, Kyle, I am not showing up for myself. I'm not showing up for my kids. I have no discipline right now, and I just need to see change. And once again, we have had over 5,000. I think we're close to getting around 5,500. We'll have to count, probably about 5,300, I'd say right now. But we've had so many people come in, and don't get me wrong, I love the good to great transformations where someone's like already pretty elite and taking them to another level. But there's just something so touching about that person who's literally in such a dark space and just like honestly has tried 100 different times. Like people will say, I've tried Noom, I've tried Weight Watchers, I've tried starvation, I've tried this fad diet, keto, carnivore, you name it. And even on the other end, workout routines, I've tried classes, I've tried, just CrossFit, I've tried High Rocks. I know it's new, so we haven't gotten that one as much, but people have tried everything. And when they come in here and they succeed and they start to see their body change and their mindset change, and it's not only the physical benefits, but the emotional as well. And their life improves, the way they interact with their kids, their bosses, us, like everything like that. It just gets to be another level. So I'm so passionate about this. Obviously, it's the only thing Josh and myself do. Like we create content and we help people. We don't do anything else on the side. And that's why we're able to get such great success for our clients.
Yeah, I think where what people don't realize is it might be nice to hear, but you're not the problem. Your plan is most of the time. Like people try hard. Everyone has a great work ethic. Everyone wants to lose weight at some point. It's just when you go about it in the right way, similar to what Kyle said, when you try all these different short term things, like it's not going to work. It's going to leave you discouraged. And that's why for us, we always like to say we're going to be the last fitness program you ever need because I want to teach you like there's that old saying, right? Like give a man a fish, feed him for a day, teach him how to fish, feed him for life. And to me, like I feel like we're teaching people how to fish. I really believe in what we do. And obviously we've proven that with over 5,000 transformations. And for me, it doesn't need to be complicated. When you learn the basic tenets of like how to eat and still have a social life, how to still enjoy all your favorite foods, understand like better training regimens and using advanced tactics that are out there to actually make your time in the gym more impactful and to actually get you more results in a safer, more beneficial way. Like it just makes it so much easier. And because of that, my favorite part about online coaching is being able to help more people. And that's the thing. A lot of people say, oh, did you start in COVID? Like you just used to be personal trainers. And we were personal trainers for a time we were getting started, but we've been in business as online coaches. We've had clients for over 12 years. Like we have been doing this forever. It's not like something, there's a ton of people now, they just don't know what to do in life. They look good and they throw online coach in their bio and you're going to get a lackluster result. They're not going to give you the support you need. They're not going to have the expertise and infrastructure to assist you through everything. We've been doing this so long. Like we built out so much that like that's why we have a money back guarantee. Like together we cannot fail. And to me, I love that because I can take anyone, someone in the Middle East, someone in the US, someone in Australia, someone any place in the world. We have a ton of clients in Singapore. It's absolutely awesome to be able to help them even with different barriers that can exist. We can still help them online. Whereas like my reach was so limited locally. So I love being able to work with like so many amazing people in unique situations to overcome those challenges and to show them like no matter where you are in life, no matter what's going on, no matter what your barriers are, you can absolutely become fit, become healthy, build your dream body. And that is definitely my favorite thing.
Yeah, and just one thing, if you are looking to get to the next level as well, obviously you guys know we do this for a living and we guarantee our results. Just shoot us a message. Just message us on our Instagram at Colossus Fit, COLOSSUSFIT. You can just ask a question. You can, say learn more, and we'll just have a conversation just to make sure that you're the right fit for our coaching program and help you get some killer results. So if you're ever wanting someone that's going to give absolutely everything to get those results for you, we're going to be your guys.
And the next question's fitting. Hardest part about running an online coaching business. So for me, I think the easy answer is it's not the coaching. Coaching is so second nature to me. It's so easy. I love it. Like I just enjoy it and I don't really find anything too complicated. Like at a certain degree, like when you're tracking your macros, you understand how to do that. You improve your accuracy. Like it's a numbers game, right? It's so easy. Same with programming. You can control volume, you control stylistic muscle and like what you're working towards. And you can actually really build out muscles and build more balance and you can address weak points. So like creating a body and transformation is so easy. I think the hardest part about online coaching is convincing people that you have the value you do. Cause I know I do. It's just sometimes hard to communicate that even with people I'll meet just like whatever. Like if I'm in a park with my kids, someone says, what do you do? I say what I do. They're like, oh, I need that one day. And it's like, okay, but you could use that right now. Like I know I can help you, right? And they'll be, ah. And that's like the second thing for me is that like everyone deserves a coach. I know a lot of people say like, oh, I don't need a coach. I'm a beginner. I don't need a coach. Like I'm already doing okay. But like anything in life, if you want to be really good at it, like if you really need to learn a new language in 3 months, there's no way you're just gonna Duolingo it. Like you're gonna kind of get a little better, not get anywhere, right? You're gonna hire someone, you're gonna go to that tutor lessons, you're gonna get out there and practice. And like it's the same with a fitness coach. Like if you want to be your fittest, healthiest, happiest self and you want to optimize for your life and you want to stop spinning your wheels, you want to stop going in the wrong direction, you need to hire someone. And that's why all the best athletes have coaches. Like you need to start seeing yourself as an athlete because you deserve that. And for me, I think that is the hardest thing is actually communicating that. So we're making a new website. Hopefully it'll be out in a few weeks. We'll keep you updated, obviously, as an amazing listener that you are. And that website, we're gonna make a really nice video explaining and showcasing what we do. We're gonna have way more information. Like it's gonna be a lot cleaner. So I'm really looking forward to that. And like that's always a challenge too. Like there's always a million things we want to do. It's like almost hard. But I think those are the two biggest for me.
Yeah, I would say working off of that, Josh just started it, but that like all I would think about would just be like the amount of things that need to get done. And so a lot of you will never see those challenges. And like, for example, the problems as well, right? Like even long story short, for this website, I know it's a small thing, but there was a time where we ended up getting kind of hacked or something like that. There was a virus on our website, right? You guys never saw any of that, but there that was just so painful. Like there was so much we had to navigate. We had to call people. We had to, get the malware protection put on the website. I just remember days of like my mindset just being like, what is going on and why is this happening, right? Random things. There's always like tax related things. There's always like different malfunctions, different fires to be put out, but we chose this and we're so grateful. Like the result of it is being able to help people. But what I will say is like there will always be something behind the scenes that we have to figure out, whether it's an Instagram issue or, maybe it's just anything that like, a subscription issue that we have. There will always be something. But yeah, that's kind of one of the harder parts, especially because when you work for someone else, it's usually like, hey, there's a lot of other stuff being taken care of. You don't have to worry about these subscriptions and these different fees and all these extra things that pop up. But it's all good because we make it work.
Yeah, and there's that saying, right? Like buy nice or buy twice. And I think we've learned that time and time again. Like now it's so awesome building a great team around us. And like we have an amazing website developer. Shout out Jake. We have an amazing editor. Shout out Samuel. Like we have so many great people. We got Coach Chris on our team. We got Mary Kate always assisting us behind the scenes. Like having such a good team is such a belief and it's such an amazing benefit. And I think even for us, we'll have other people that say, oh, I've tried these coaches because they were cheaper and I meant to try you guys or whatever. And then they'll end up at us and be like, oh, we wasted so much time, right? Like trying to do this cheap solution. Or all the time now we'll hear people be like, oh, I get my advice from Chat GPT. And I ask it sometimes for fun, like to simulate things. And it's just horrible, the advice. I'm like, this is so bad. This routine sucks. This advice is so wrong. Like this person's going to see such slower results. And that's why, like, having done this so long, it's just like it's like an art form, right? There's a reason. I love plumbers, an example, whatever. If something's wrong with my sink, I'm not going to be able to figure it out. It's going to be a mess. They come in like, okay, it's this, we'll do this, and we'll fix it. And you're like, okay, perfect. And it's very much like that with a fitness coach, right? So that's definitely something we enjoy what we do. And like we said, we'd love to help you with that. So definitely you can reach out to us on our Instagram. You can also submit more questions on our Instagram. You can check out our website. But we just want to switch it up and do a really fun rapid fire episode. If you love this, we would love to do a part two, but we won't know if we don't know. So you can either comment on this episode and let us know, say do part two if you're on Spotify or YouTube, or you can DM us. If we get enough messages, I don't know what the number will be, but if we see enough, we'll definitely do a part two because I actually have a whole list of other amazing questions that we're looking forward to answering. But I want to know if all of you love this just as much as we did. I think it was a ton of fun. So thank you for tuning in with us today. We'll see you in the next episode. Peace out.